Huwag yung kayong magkadisgrasyahan tayo niyan. Sinasabi ko madidisgrasya kayo. At madidisgrasya kayo. Hindi ako urong dito. And I said, I would stake my honor, my life, and even the presidency.
Good morning, Malacañang Press Corps. Let's welcome for today Presidential Spokesperson Harry Roque.
Thank you, and good Tuesday morning, Philippines, and good morning to the ladies and gentlemen of the Malacañang Press Corps. Yesterday, Ambassador Zhao, the ambassador of the People's Republic of China to the Philippines, had a courtesy call with the president at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. The president and Ambassador Zhao discussed the upcoming visit of President Xi to the country this November, which both agreed would further cement the already strong relations between the Philippines and China. China, of course, expressed concern over a military exercise that the United States will be conducting in the area at about the same time that the Chinese president will be in the Philippines. The president said that we will not take part in that military exercise. Both agreed that joint exploration in the disputed West Philippine Sea would be to each other's interests, to both countries' interests, and China reiterated that they do not desire any military confrontation as a result of the West Philippine Sea, either with any of the claimant states or with any other powers, because China is the biggest user of the West Philippine Sea, and any military confrontation in the West Philippine Sea will have dire consequences as far as Chinese commerce is concerned. The Chinese ambassador then affirmed Chinese financial assistance in connection with a page-long list of projects which I hope to distribute by the end of this press briefing. Now, we also had the 30th cabinet meeting yesterday, and I think the most important highlight of that meeting was the president approved unimpeded importation of rice as a measure to reduce inflation. No? After a presentation conducted by Finance Secretary Sunny Dominguez that food items now is primarily responsible for an even increased inflation rate for the last month, the president ordered the unimpeded importation of rice. He wants to flood the market with rice so that even if the price of crude and other oil prices should go up still further, that the people will have access to affordable rice. Wala na pong restrictions ngayon, basta magbayad lang ng taripa at gagamitin natin ang taripa para po sa mga Pilipinong magsasaka ng bigas. So inaasahan po natin na with this kind of an order, even giant Filipino companies like San Miguel Corporation, which was specifically mentioned in the cabinet meeting yesterday, will now be able to import rice, and that this increase in supply of rice will result in overall lowering of price of rice. Now, I underscore that this was after the Finance Secretary illustrated by way of graphs that non-food items, together with tobacco and oil, were responsible for the increase in inflation, and that rice, in fact, was the most important commodity whose price increase that led to the spike in inflation. So inasahan po natin na meron na tayong remedyo. Sa ngayon pa lang po, ang sabi ni Secretary Piñol naman ng Agriculture, bumababa na po ang mga presyo ng ilang mga agrikulturang produkto, kasama na rin po ang bigas dahil halos 2 milyong metric tons na po ang nakapasok, no? So, at mas marami pa pong bigas ang inaasahan na pumasok. Now, nakikiramay ang palasyo sa mga pamilya na mga mahal sa buhay na naiwan ng 5 Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency personnel na pinatay sa isang ambush sa Andanar del Sur noong Biyernes. Nagsimula ng gumulong ang investigasyon at ang kasong ito ay personal na tututukan mismo ng Pangulo. Makakaasa ang lahat na makakamit ang hustisya sa mga napaslang. Ang aming panalangin at pakikiramay din sa pamilya na pinatay na hukom si Judge Edmundo Pintac na humahawak sa mga kaso ng paruhinog sa Ozamis. The murder of Judge Pintac was discussed in the cabinet meeting yesterday. Inatasan ng Pangulo ang pamunuan ng Philippine National Police na gawin ang lahat upang mahuli sa lalong mabilis na panahon ang mga taong may kinalaman sa karumaldumal na mga krimen na ito. Ang mga ganitong pagpatay ay mariin naming kinukondena. Ang mga ito ay patunay na totoo ang panganib na kinakarap ng ating mga otoridad sa pagsukpo sa ipinagbabawal na gamot. These deaths attest that the drug war is real. Good news naman po tayo. We're pleased to announce that the revenues from agricultural exports grew by 32.25%, reaching a total amount of 331.6 billion in 2017, higher compared to the 250.75 billion in 2016. The Philippine Statistics Authority highlighted that fresh banana continues to be the major export commodity in the country, with the exportation of 2.86 million metric tons amounting to 56.88 billion this year. This contributes 17.15% to the total agricultural export revenues. In addition, sugar was the second top agricultural export commodity with the exportation of 440,733 metric tons amounting to 10.26 billion. This contributes 3.09% to the total agricultural export revenues. We also welcome the results of the latest maiden report on the Banking Sector Outlook Survey published by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas for the first semester of 2018. According to the results of the survey, 66.7% of the respondents consider a stable outlook for the banking system, while the remaining 33.3% of the respondents view that the banking system will remain strong in the next 2 years. The bullish outlook means that the country's banking sector will continue to support the development of the country's economy, the BSP survey also stated. The survey was conducted among the President's chief executive officers, country managers of 114 banks in the Philippines. Questions, please.
Okay, we're open for questions.
Good morning, sir. Sir, regarding the raising of concern by the Chinese ambassador to the President regarding these military exercises at the South China Sea during the visit of the Presidency, did he ask the President to somewhat ask also U.S. to defer that exercises?
I do not know if I can go to any detail, but of course, the general consensus was we don't want anything to mar the visit of President Xi. No? So I think the DFA will do all that it can to make sure that the President Xi's visit will be fruitful and as productive as we would want it to be.
Was there any directive from the President to DFA na to ask US nga na to defer that exercise during that visit?
Well, again, I don't think I can go to any detail there, but we want a seamless visit of President Xi.
Having an exercise there, would that affect this target of having a seamless visit of President Xi?
We hope not.
Next question, Christina.
Sir, good morning. Welcome back.
Only one day, kayo naman.
Namiss
Oo.
namin kayo. Sir, regarding dun sa issue ng unimpeded rice imports, sir, how did what was the discussion sa cabinet and how did the president handle the situation, sir?
It was a very hot issue. It was very animated, and we were one of three who had very strong views about the need of controlling inflation through increasing the supply of rice in the country. I said that, in fact, one of the reasons why I now have a phobia whenever I appear before the media is I don't know what else to say about inflation, and that I needed something big to announce. And that's why I think in the end the President said we will go by the recommendation that we should now have unimpeded importation of rice. It was highlighted that minimum access volume is a minimum, there is no maximum. And that is why the decision to liberalize, for all intents and purposes, the importation of rice was really the ultimate means by which to rein in inflation as far as food items are concerned. Unfortunately po, kinalulungkot natin na habang wala pa tayong sariling langis dito sa Pilipinas, wala tayong magagawa sa pagtaas ng presyo ng krudo at langis. Pero ngayon pong pinapayagan na natin na mag-angkat kahit sino, kahit anong quantity ng bigas, inaasahan po natin na at least mataas man ang krudo, mapapababa natin ang presyo ng bigas na pinakamalapit sa sitmura ng mamamayang Pilipino.
Sir, since wala na yung so sir, anybody na may capital pwedeng mag-import ng
Yes.
rice. So how would you
Yes.
prevent naman yung mga firms na with big capital ma-monopolize, makuha yung supply ng malakas?
Ang importante po, kung maraming maipasok na bigas, bubagsak ang presyo ng bigas. Ang importante rin po, magbayad sila ng taripa kasi gagamitin natin yung taripa para tulungan naman yung mga magsasakang Pilipino.
Sir, when you said it was a hot issue, you mean the issue of rice smuggling or the people's may heart?
Let's just say the issue was whether or not the status quo actually impedes importation of rice. Although the position of some was we are not impeding the importation of rice, the reality was there were maximum volumes allowed. No? And it was still the NFA dictating how much rice should be imported into the country. With the President's directive, the NFA no longer has any say on how much rice should be imported. Anyone who can afford it and will pay tariffs for rice will be allowed to import rice.
Sir, did tempers flare during the cabinet meeting?
Close.
Was there a shouting match?
I don't think it was a shouting match. I think it was just people being assertive about their views.
Shouting match between the finance secretary and the president?
I don't think there was a shouting match. There was a principled and fierce discussion about how to characterize the current system and the possible solution to the problem.
Was the president raising his voice or other officials?
As usual, the president was listening to both sides but decided to do with liberalizing the importation of rice.
Sir, si Secretary Piñol and si Finance Secretary Dominguez, were they at odds against each other?
I don't think I need to go to any details. You know, as you know, there is such a thing as executive privilege. I think it suffices to say that there was a thorough discussion of the issue, and after presenting all the issues, the President decided to fully liberalize the importation of rice.
All to address inflation, sir.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
For the time
Satisfied,
being.
ma'am. Oh, we have a follow-up question from Alex. Alexis, sorry.
Clarification. So, yung tariffs na i-impose, ano po yung rates?
Published rate naman po yan.
Yun pa rin.
Oo, published
Okay.
rate yan.
So, how will it be different, yung policy? How will it be different from the bill being pushed in Congress, yung sa tarification?
In effect, we did not wait for tarification.
So, paano yan? Kailangan pa bang i-pass yung bill or kailangan
Well,
institutionalize?
the consensus was there was no need for anything. The President can already order the liberalization of rice importation because, again, the language found in relevant instruments is minimum access volume. So there is no maximum.
So, hanggang kailan tong policy na to?
Wala naman pong time frame. I was actually suggesting that there should be a time frame, but there was no time frame agreed upon. Basta liberalize the importation of rice.
But will
Full
the-
liberalization.
But will the palace still push for the rice tarification
Yes.
bill despite this policy?
Yes, but we will not wait for it.
Okay. Thank you, Sec.
We have a question from Ina.
Hi, sir. Sir, ano po ang pagkakaiba nito doon sa administrative order which already approved basically yung removed the non-tariff barriers?
Kasi po ngayon, meron pang accreditation ng importers. Meron pa ngayong dapat order from the NFA Council kung ilan ang iaangkat na bigas. So with this order of the President, wala na pong ganyang mga restrictions. It's a free market now for rice. Wala na accreditation, wala nang permission. Well, of course, they need to procure import permits, no? Otherwise, baka magka-problema sila. But no one will have to approve the importation anymore. Basta they comply with the documentary requirements.
Sir, what function ng NFA, bale, ang mawawala doon sa process?
It no longer has the power to accredit who can import. It no longer has the power to determine how much to import.
Okay. Sir, what effect could this have on local farmers?
Well, sa ngayon po, wala naman po dahil mataas nga ang presyo. Pero, ang pangako po natin, yung ibabayad na taripa, isasantabi po natin yan para sa kapakanan ng ating mga lokal na mga magsasaka. At isa sa mga naiisip nga, yung libreng mga hybrid para mas malaki yung kanilang mga aanihin, libreng pataba, yung mga inputs na po pwedeng maibigay sa ating mga magsasaka.
Okay. We still have some follow-up questions sa likod. Si Miss Chona. Oh, other issues.
Two questions, sir. Una, yung results sa medical test ni Presidente. And second, what is your decision? Are you leaving the cabinet?
On the first question, I cannot answer because I have no information. Okay? I know it's ridiculous, but that's the truth. And there was no consensus to what extent information on the president's health will be divulged. We will abide with the provision of the Constitution. We take it that whatever the president has is not serious for the constitutional provision to apply. So we leave it at that. Okay. Now my decision, we're still talking. I talked to the president yesterday afternoon, and talks have not yet been concluded. We will continue our conversation.
Sir, sabi po ni Secretary Panelo, cancer-free si Presidente.
Alam nyo, that's a very difficult predicament for me. I'm not in a position to say that. But I think the decision was the president will comply with the constitutional provision that unless he has a serious illness, he wants to treat his medical condition as being private and covered by confidentiality.
Okay.
Sir, pero dahil...
And I'm sorry, I'm not privy to information on his health.
Okay, Raymond, Bombo. Sorry.
Sir, but I remember last Friday during our last meeting, you mentioned that if you were to come back Monday or today, you will be asking the president to release a medical bulletin and even his doctor to explain to clear once and for all about his mental or health condition.
I think I've answered that. The president has opted to comply with the constitutional provision. Unless it's serious, he will treat his medical condition as being private.
So, sir, the option of running for senator 2019 is still an option.
Right now, I'm still talking to the president.
Okay, Deo. Okay na. Joyce Balancio.
Sir, do you deny, kasi si Attorney Panelo na po yung nagsabi na the President himself announced yesterday during the cabinet meeting that he is cancer-free. Do you deny that the President made such announcement?
I do not deny nor confirm. I'm saying I'm not privy to information. And what the President, I think, said yesterday was he wants his medical information to remain confidential and private.
Okay, sir, sa column niyo lang po sa Tribune, you said, as I am about to chart a new direction, I assure our people that they will be the first to know. Can you expound on that? What do you mean by that?
Exactly by that. If a decision has been reached, then, of course, I'll have to notify the people. First, the Malacañang Press Corps, because I owe you that.
Okay, si Henry muna. Next. Thank you.
Secretary, ang pagiging press secretary ba ay tinatanggap ninyo or napupusuan ninyo?
Pinag-uusapan pa po.
Pero ano ang tsansa na tanggapin ninyo ito? Gusto ba ninyo ito o hindi?
Pinag-uusapan pa po.
Satisfied? Si Maricel?
Sir, was there any development that led you to this, kumbaga, stalemate na pinag-uusapan pa? May nangyari po ba over the weekend?
Wala naman po. It's just that mahirap sumagot ng mga tanong na wala kang kasagutan and is expected to know information. No? So sa akin, wala naman pong ibig sabihin yun. No? It's just that, paano po ito? No? I'm not able to say anything about his health and you want to know it. No? So sa akin, I need to do my job very well. And if I'm not able to, I will not settle for anything half-baked. I think you know that. So, pinag-uusapan naman po itong mga bagay-bagay na ito.
Okay, Dave.
Sir, ano po ba status nyo ngayon? On leave po ba kayo or may aalis pa po ba kayo bukas out of the country?
Talagang magli-leave po ako talaga. Talagang scheduled po ako for leave. So I really will be on leave. But number one, the information on the rice liberalization had to be announced today to assure the people na may ginagawa po ang ating presidente. Presidente na po mismo nagdesisyon. Kahit ano pang mangyari sa mga bagay na hindi natin makontrol, nais niya na abot kaya yung pagkain para sa ating mamamayan.
So naka-leave po dapat kayo ngayon, but then you had to announce something.
Yes, so babawiin ko yung mga leave ko dahil sayang naman, nagtrabaho naman ako, pero magli-leave po talaga ako beginning the 11th.
Until when, sir?
Yeah, 11th. And then I'll be back on the 15th because I'm attending a conference.
Okay, we have Maricel and then Joseph.
I'm attending a conference po in China.
Hi sir, good morning. Sir, may we know kung ano po yung napag-usapan ninyo ni Presidente kahapon?
Pabiyayo na po muna yun dahil wala pa nga pinagtatapusan yung aming usapan.
Pero sir, what are your considerations in making your decision whether to run or to stay in the cabinet?
I need to be able to do my job to the best that I could.
And did the President ask you na pumasok po muna ngayon while making
Hindi
the
naman po,
decision?
but it's my decision kasi importante yung decision pagdating po dun sa bigas. Pero matagal na po ako talaga, check nyo po sa records, matagal na ako nag-file for leave. Kaya hindi po, it's not a big deal. Matagal na po naka-schedule yung leave ko.
Sir, pardon me for asking, but hindi naman because of a bit tampo with the President, that's why you announced that you were on leave
Wala naman pong
yesterday.
dahilan para magtampo. It's just a matter of, if at all, I need to be a pro in my job. And I think you know what I'm talking about, no? A pro. I have to be an absolute pro in this job. And much of this job really depends on how credible I am to you and to the people. And if I do not have information that is required to get that credibility, I will not be efficient in the job. That's why it will be half-baked. Ayoko naman po ng ganun. Whenever I do something, I give it my best.
Sir, kasi we heard na you have personal plans to travel abroad, I think, by tomorrow. So will this still push through or do you have any plans of joining the President to Bali?
I'm not joining Bali po. I'm going because the conference is sponsored by an association of which I'm the president. So I never advertise my involvement in professional and academic organizations, but I'm president of that association that's going to have a intersessional conference in Beijing. We will be, in fact, the sponsor of the biennial conference in 2019.
But sir, last na lang. So does it mean that you won't be on leave? You will still answer will you still be holding briefing, press conferences?
For now, yes. I will be here on Thursday, but then I will leave and then I will be back on Monday.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Joseph, Prince, and then Tuesday.
Sir, earlier, you said that the consensus, actually, there was no consensus as to what extent the palace is willing to divulge the medical status of the
Well, let's
president.
put it this way. The president will abide by the Constitution, but because it is not serious, he will treat his medical condition as confidential.
All right, meaning, sir, if you use the word consensus, there was a discussion whether it should be disclosed or not, whatever the ailment, serious or otherwise.
There was at least a discussion between one person in the cabinet and the president.
And who's that one person? Is
Me.
that you? Okay. All right. So, ibig sabihin, sir, you're saying because it is not serious.
It is not serious. It does not have to be divulged.
But there is something.
Well, he had tests, and we have to await the results of the tests. There are
But
no
the
results
president,
yet.
no, but the president said during that speech, the PMA speech, that he will disclose whatever it is, right?
Let us wait for his disclosure because anything that is confidential can be waived by the person alone. Not even an alter ego can waive that for the president. That's his discretion. So when he speaks about it in public, then he waives his right to confidentiality.
Okay. Sir, natanong niyo na ba't hindi niyo po alam yung sa Hong Kong?
Ha?
Yung sa Hong Kong na trip niya, you didn't know na...
Well, the truth of the matter was I knew he was going abroad. I knew that,
Okay.
but I did not know where and for what purpose.
So when you said...
All I know is it's for the daughter.
Uh-huh. So when you told us it's Davao, what was that?
He was in Davao at that moment.
Tricky, you're alone.
No, no, no.
No, ha?
He left
Sige.
from Davao. He left from Davao. I don't know exactly when I said he was in Davao, but from Manila, he left for Davao. Again, I am not prone to lie. Either I will say I do not know, I honestly do not know, but at that point, he left for Davao.
Sir, given what had happened in the past week, do you think you can still be effective?
That's why I'm talking to the president.
Are there things that kind of hinder you from performing your job?
I think I've answered that earlier.
Okay.
I want to do my job the best way I can. And I will not settle for anything half-baked. So if I'm not able to give correct information as the people need it, that will not be performing my duties.
Yeah, did you tell that to the president?
I think he knows and he understands my sense of professionalism.
And what did he tell you?
Nothing. He just says, I'm not willing. I mean, for all intents and purposes, it remains confidential.
What do you mean I'm not willing?
It remains confidential. He will not divulge details.
Okay. No, but to your...
Even to me.
Hindi sir, ibig sabihin yung sentiments mo
No,
about...
well, this was actually a public discussion, ladies and gentlemen. It was not a one-on-one discussion. It was openly discussed.
Okay, Prince.
Sir, I'm sorry, I just have to ask this again. What would convince you, sir, to stay in the cabinet?
That's between me and the president for now.
Sir, how true that you shot a campaign advertisement over the weekend, sir?
Well, you reported on it. Well, the truth is, I shot it because it's been paid for. And, I mean, we've had plans. Whatever's happened in the last few days were really major deviation from plans that even the president knew about. Come on, for the past 5 or 6 months, he's been calling me senator. He's been, for all intents and purposes, endorsing my bid for the Senate. So I was taken aback with his statement also with PMA alumni. So it was a game changer, so to speak. It was a change in tone. But I think there was an agreement on what I would be doing ahead of time.
Sir, last na lang, what will make you pursue your bid for a Senate seat, sir?
As I said, I'm discussing with the president, and I'd rather that the president and I agree on a course of action.
Sir, can we get parang a categorical answer by next week, sir? As to your...
Of course, because the
political-
filing is next week. So
This
there would
week,
have to
sir,
be-
this week.
Probably not.
Okay, so maraming question kay Spokes. Christine, and then Ina, and then... okay, si Christine muna.
I'm just gonna ask. Sir, yung sa what's this? Will the president issue an EO on that full liberalization?
I asked, and the consensus was there was no need. Because there was only, the provision found is minimum access volume. So the president has already ordered unimpeded rice importation.
So it means effective today.
It was effective today, yes.
And anybody can now import.
Yes, provided they get import permits, of course.
Okay.
But
Ina.
there will be no requirement for the issuance of import permits.
So anybody.
No accreditation, no authorization.
Sir, dun sa campaign ad nyo po, you said it's been paid for. I'm just curious, paid for by a supporter?
I've had to pay for it, of course.
You paid for it.
Yes.
So isn't this, sir, basically an indication that you are headed towards
It was
running
paid
already?
for like months ago.
Okay. Sir, have you decided on the offer to be press secretary? Have you officially declined it?
As I said, we're talking with the president still.
Okay. And sir, dun sa...
Because it really is a new development which deviates from a course of action that was approved also by the President in the past.
Okay. Sir, dun sa medical, the test results, you mentioned that hintayin pa rin natin yung resulta ng test, but there seems to be a conclusion that it's not serious, which would imply na may lumabas na po na resulta.
Hindi ko po alam. See, that's the point. I will not be as brave as Secretary Panelo. I did not hear that categorical statement, and therefore, from the general actuation of the President, I take it he is not waiving his confidentiality to medical information. So we leave it at that.
Okay. Even USEC or Secretary Anyo, in an ambush interview earlier today, confirmed that the President made the announcement. Sabi po niya, and I quote, doon sa cabinet meeting, in the middle of the meeting, sinabi niya na, by the way, I had my test, and sabi niya the test is negative, at nagpalakpakan pa daw po yung cabinet. Were you there or you weren't there?
I was there, but that's I will not contradict that.
So the announcement was made. If you were there and you heard it.
That's not the complete statement of the President, and I believe it's not for me to repeat the complete statement of the President.
So,
because it's covered by confidentiality.
Are you disputing what
No, I'm not.
yung
In fact, the President said that. All I'm saying is it may not be the complete quote from the President.
May follow-up question si
Sir,
Severina.
last sa akin. Since the President dropped the cancer word, just to be clear about it, sir, since may growth, binayopsy po ba yung growth?
Again, I will repeat, I do not have access to this information, and I'm very sorry for it.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Severina, follow-up question, and then Dreo.
So regarding your personal plans, will the issuance of an executive order creating the OPS change your decision? Like if the EO would come out before the filing of the COC expires on the 17th, would your decision be changed?
What will determine my course of action will be the outcome of my conversation with the President on what I should do.
So it's not the executive
It's
order.
not the executive order. The executive order will only implement the creation of a new office, no? But we have an ongoing conversation with the President.
Okay, last two si Dreo and then si Joseph. Sorry.
Sir, clarification lang po. You said earlier that we have to await results of the tests. But the cabinet officials like Secretary Anyo already is saying that it's negative. So what's the real score? Is there a result of the health tests or that you aren't divulging?
Where I stand, I do not have access to this information.
But you said we will await for the results.
Because
So-
he said he underwent tests.
So he did not say anything about the results of the tests yesterday.
My relocation was, he did, but it was not clear. So
There
I
are
leave it
already
at that.
results.
I do
There-
not know. That's my problem. I hope you understand. The patient, for purposes of medical confidentiality, has determined he will keep it private. It so happens that it's also President. But the Constitution still respects confidentiality because it's only in case of serious illness that he is compelled to waive the confidentiality.
Sir, how come the cabinet officials are divulging this information when the president decided that it should be confidential?
I leave it to them to explain their declarations.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, si Joseph and then if we could still allow another, si Joseph muna. Okay.
Sir, doon lang sa rice policy po, sir. Kasi the Presidential Decree number 4 states that the power to import rice and regulate its entry to the local market is vested in the NFA. So what will happen to this decree po, sir, if we will not issue EO po, sir?
As I said, no, the NFA will have to implement this. Remember, they determine importation pursuant to minimum access volume. So now that the President has ordered trade liberalization, if need be, the NFA would have to allow it.
So, sir, ano pong sabi ni Secretary Piñol during the meeting being the NFAC chairman po?
Ang sabi naman niya, we are already taking steps to liberalize. And the only agreement was whether or not it was enough steps being taken to liberalize. And so to end the debate, it's now full liberalization.
So in other words, he agreed po dun sa policy ni President, sir.
Let's just say the President decided.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so ang last na talaga, si Tina.
Okay pa yan. Sir, maliban sa inyo, sino pa po ang tatakbo sa administration slate?
Hayaan na po natin sila maggawa ng sariling deklarasyon kasi I speak only for the President. Hindi naman po ako spokesperson ng ibang mga kandidato.
But do we expect full slate, 12 senatorial candidates?
The administration party? Yes,
Yes.
of course. There will be 12 candidates.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Hannah, will you still be last? Sin RG.
Sir, President Duterte yesterday met with Senators Ejercito, Villar, Legarda, Gordon, and Zubiri. Did they talk about tax reforms?
I was not there. Where was I? There were so many meetings yesterday. Oh, I forgot to announce that also there's now, they have at least 5 telcos have purchased forms for the bidding. I do not have the details now, but I think in an earlier interview, Secretary Rio also identified some of the bidders, including a company owned by Mr. Velarde, a company owned by Mr. Dennis Uy, among others, no? But there are 5 of them, no? And I think of the 5, the identity of only 1 is unknown. What else?
But in the palace schedule, sir, what was supposed to be the agenda of that meeting with senators?
I'm not privy to the agenda.
Thank you, sir.
Joseph, magtatanong ka pa? Okay, and then last na talaga si Joyce after Joseph. And Henry.
Sir, I just don't want to misquote you, no, but earlier you said that the President himself said that I'm referring to the President, I am not willing to divulge. That was his soundbite?
He's not waiving his confidentiality.
Okay. You said also that you have no access. You've tried asking naman about the status of the results?
I did.
So you're being denied access to?
I was not given access.
What
I
did
was not given any information.
When you ask, what did they tell you?
Nothing lang. Nothing. Nothing. I think it makes my job difficult, if you ask me. No? As obviously now it's proven to be difficult. But what can I say?
Pero sir, parang may something doon. Kasi parang if it's not something
no,
to
I
be...
don't think we should give any meaning to it because confidentiality is a right. There's even a decision involving Naomi Campbell, no? It's a leading decision.
So now the policy
on
becomes...
the extent of press freedom. In that case, the UK House of Lords even upheld a restraint on media from publishing a photo of Naomi Campbell, a public figure leaving a drug rehab facility, arguing that that image is covered by confidentiality.
So the policy becomes that unless it is a serious illness, there will be no disclosure from the palace or
It
the
is not
president.
becomes, it's what the Constitution says.
Okay. No, but kasi may sinabi siya na he's willing to disclose and then now.
Well, if he says, he waives it to the extent of the information that he has said.
Okay.
Okay, Hannah, may tanong ka pa? Okay, Joyce, Henry. Paabot na lang po. Thank you.
Sir, how many cabinet members yesterday ang nagpaalam na kay President Duterte?
I do not know. Actually, there was no one who actually said goodbye to the cabinet. Maybe because there was a very interesting meeting. The rice debate was very animated and colorful.
Sir, technicality lang. Sir, during the time when President Duterte was undergoing series of tests like endoscopy and colonoscopy, was he conscious? Hindi ba, sir, pag sa Constitution, there should be an officer in charge na kailangan? And also, when he went to Hong Kong this weekend, was there a need? Or we didn't see the need to appoint an OIC during that time?
I do not know if he was unconscious. As to whether or not there was an OIC, I do not think so because he was well. And who knows, he may have designated one that I don't know about.
Even, sir, yung Hong Kong, probably he didn't appoint any
I do
officer
not
in
know
charge.
that. I do not know that. Let me check.
Henry.
Secretary, to set the record straight, maraming nagtatanong, mga kababayan natin, kayo ay tagapagsalita ng Pangulo. Pero hindi nyo alam ang nangyayari sa Pangulo at hindi nyo rin alam ito, kagaya nung may caretaker ba, saan ba nagpupunta talaga ang Pangulo. Paano nyo ipaliliwanag sa mga kababayan natin na kayo ang tagapagsalita ng Pangulo, boses ng Malacañang, pero hindi nyo alam ang nangyayaring ito?
Well, paumanhin po, pero ganoon po talaga ang mga pangyayari. Kaya nga po nag-uusap naman kami ni Presidente kung ano pang magiging papel ko sa administrasyon. Kasi sa tingin ko nga, dapat alam ko, pero paumanhin po, hindi ko talaga alam. Kaya nga po nag-iisip tayo kung karapat-dapat pa tayo dito sa ganitong katungkulan.
Alam ni na Secretary Anyo, alam ni na Secretary Panelo, pero hindi ninyo alam at sabi ninyo wala kayong access. Nasasaktan ba kayo dyan?
Hindi naman po, but I'm sad that I am not able to provide the answers that the people want.
All right, thank you.
Vance.
Sir, I have only one question. Sir, kasi nagharap na kayo ng Pangulo. Have you tried asking him kung bakit galit sa iyo mga sundalo?
Hindi naman po ako naniniwala na galit sa akin yung sundalo eh. So, hindi rin po ako naniniwala na seryoso yung presidente nung sinabi niya yun. No? I think he was underscoring the fact that he has offered me a job and that he wants me to take on the job. No? I hope I am not wrong in my understanding of what the president said and how he said it.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, sorry guys, kasi may kailangan pang puntahan unless the spokesperson would like to
May isa
entertain.
daw.
Last
Sige.
na, okay.
Sir, yung pong may proposal sa House na if there's going to be a serious illness, or resignation, or death of a president, the Senate President, not the Vice President, will succeed. So, first comment on that proposal. I think Gloria to, no?
We leave it so far to Congress because that's the constitutional obligation of the Congress. If they so decide to submit proposals to amend or revise the Constitution, it will come from them if the mode chosen is through a constituent assembly.
Does Congress or does Representative Arroyo know something that we don't?
I do not know what you are asking. No? Obviously, I'm not privy to many information. Again, I apologize for it.
Okay, so pasensya na guys
Nonetheless,
kasi
sir,
merong flight na hinahabol
kung anong
si...
nasa Constitution on succession, it should be followed.
That's what's found in the Constitution. It will be followed.
Unless amended.
Unless the Constitution is amended, of course. The Constitution is the highest law of the land.
Okay, thank you so much guys. Thank you MPC. Back to studio, back to Radyo Pilipinas and People's Television.